Welcome to this training video. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly on how I got 30 plus customers that equaled out to $150,000 in recurring revenue in actually just under 3 months. I break down everything from the outreach copy I used, the video sales letter, the whole funnel, the whole strategy, all the content, everything I kind of put into this video. I tried to cramp it all into just under an hour. Obviously, I could have been recording for like 4 hours. I just kind of wanted to give you all the good stuff so you guys can actually take what you need so you can reverse engineer it and just kind of go from there. Video is for anybody that's in the early stages of their startup and they're trying to get customers, trying to get a consistent way to do it and build systems around it, but they can't necessarily figure it out yet, whether that's through their cold outreach, right? They're probably getting ghosted. Cold outreach just isn't converting the best as they wish they could, and they need a consistent way to get that done. I built this whole video around this whole process that I did, and this is something that I wish I had, so I hope you guys enjoy. And yeah. I got 30 customers that led to over $100,000 in recurring revenue, and I did that in around 74 days. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. And just to give you some proof here, here's the screenshot of the Stripe dashboard. And I'm going to give you a quick little blurb about myself, of who I am, who I've worked with in the past, and why you should even be listening to me. I am Ethan Alexander. I've been working with startups for the last 7 years. I started off my career in the video space where we used to make launches, high-performing launch videos and advertisements and big, large campaigns for companies, a lot of startups, to start getting more demos in the door and make a giant impact. I kind of transitioned more to the go-to-market hacker space. That's kind of the name I like to put it. And I worked with tons of brands from Crypto.com, Micro One, Brave, all the way down to a very, very bootstrapped and early stage startups to help them solve one of the biggest things that they have, and that's getting customers and getting leads and getting people to actually sell to. Before I start, I just want to make something very, very clear, and that is this, and that's every single early stage startup that I talk to, they all have the same concerns, right? They all have the same problems, and that leads to them either being extremely stressed because they don't have a recurring system to get customers, or they burn out of cash while trying to figure out that process and ended up going belly up. And I'm gonna make something very, very clear here. You have to sell stuff to make money, right? I know it seems simple enough, but everybody tries to skip to the make money part, and it doesn't work. Trust me, I've tried it, and it doesn't work. Okay, you need all the pieces, and I'm going to show you in this video all these pieces that you're going to need step by step, right? You need the stuff to sell, which I know a lot of you guys have that. Whether you're watching this video, you're probably in pre-rev, maybe stage trying to get product market fit, or you're to build out your product, whatever stage you're in. And for the people that are trying to get product market fit, I must tell you the fastest way to get that is to sell and talk to leads. If you do not have people to get to, if you don't want people to talk to, you're not going to get product market fit no matter how early you are. And yeah, if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you are a great engineer, you have an amazing product, but you have zero idea on how to actually talk to the market, and you are burning runway, waiting for somebody to buy your product. And I want to make something very, very clear here. Strangers can only buy your stuff if they know you exist, and that takes leads. Leads means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but most of us can agree that it's the very, very first step to getting customers. And they've got, in simpler terms, they got a problem to solve and the money to spend. But as most of you know, leads don't just magically appear. You don't just wake up one day with your calendar filled with a bunch of demos from your dream customers. That doesn't happen, right? You need to get them. And more precisely, you need to help them find you so that they can buy from you. And the best part about all of this is that you do not have to wait. You do this through advertising, right? You have one-to-one advertising, right? Okay, you have one-to-one advertising. One-to-one advertising is cold emails, cold DMs, right? All social media DMs. It's cold calling door-to-door. That is one-to-one. That is a form of advertising. And then you have one-to-many. One-to-many is billboards, commercials, infomercials, advertising on social media, on Meta ads, Twitter ads, whatever it is, and organic social media content. That is one-to-many. Those are the only two things that you need to master if you want to get leads, so that you can sell to those leads, so that your company can make money. And advertising is the best thing on this planet because it lets you have a terrible product and still make a shit ton of money. And it lets you be terrible at sales and still make money. And it also lets you make tons of mistakes in your company and still make money. And I'm making this video because I've learned all this. I've been through everything that you're going through. I thought I was the special snowflake. I said that this won't work for my situation. My product is different. Outbound systems don't work for my product. These customers aren't real, and the list goes on. I've said exactly the same thing. And by the end of this video, you are going to have the foundation to do two things. You're going to have a system that forces real conversation with customers so you can find product market fit and figure out what's broken fast. Or you're going to scale the living hell out of this system and you're going to continue to grow. With all that being said, let's get started. Okay, let's start off right here and talk about why your leads are not converting into customers. I'm going to break this down into 3 buckets, and we're going to start off with number 1, why nobody's actually buying your shit. Why your cold outreach is not working. And first things first, let's discuss some of the concerns that I had, and I thought I needed better onboarding. I thought that people just didn't understand my product. I thought that we just needed more features before we could actually sell, and I also thought that our free trial isn't long enough. And I'm here to tell you every single one of those is just complete bullshit and they complete wrong. The only reason why people don't buy from you is because they do not believe that that their product, their company, or their life is going to get better by using your tool. That is it. Everything else that you hear is a distraction. Everything else. And this happens for 2 reasons, right? You have a vitamin, okay? What is a vitamin when it comes to positioning? It's not really doing much for my life. If I see somebody reach out to me with a vitamin position, I'm going to just say, okay, cool, right? I'll come to you when that time comes. It's okay. I don't need it. It's not the right time, right? You probably heard that all the time. Listen, we're focusing on something else right now. Now's not the right time. Okay. Versus we have a bleeding neck position. What is a bleeding neck position? Bleeding neck position is your team losing deals. We're losing millions of dollars. We're flying behind on data to run our entire business, right? I'm literally holding my neck, and if I don't solve this current solution, I'm going to bleed out and I'm going to die. That is a bleeding neck position. There are 2 different products. And the best part about it, a vitamin positioning can be transformed into bleeding neck position just based on how good you are at positioning your brand, at positioning your company, and writing copy. That is it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this as well. So what does this actually mean, and why is it also killing your conversions? So we have all these different positions right here. And I'm sure that you guys can probably seen some of these companies before because they're everywhere. This is just some that we've worked with before, ones that I can come off the top of my head, and I'm going to explain to you why these don't work. So we are an AI-powered analytics platform, or an automated workflow orchestration for teams, or we're an LLM wrapper that summarizes your documents. We're an collaborative AI workspace. If you have a position that sounds anything like this, I'm here to tell you this is one of the biggest reasons why your outreach is not working. And the reason for this is every single time somebody reads this, they are putting you into a category called a commodity. You are a nice to have. When somebody hears AI powered, when somebody hears analytics and platform, you know what they're thinking? Whatever their past life has been, where they've seen those words or they happen to come across those words, that is the bucket that they're putting themselves in, that they're putting you in. You're not solving anybody. You just look like a feature that exists. It's cool. It's a nice to have. I'm not going to die if I don't have it. Even though you probably are solving a multi-million-dollar problem. You're solving something huge. This is what's going through their head. You just described a category. Okay, you didn't describe their life. You didn't describe what's keeping them up. You literally just described a category. Right? You need to start describing what's going on, what's keeping them up at night. That is what you need to do. Right? If you just walked up to a founder that's drowning in churn and said, hey, I'm a database with a nice UI, that's what it's equivalent to. That's what it's equivalent to. Now we're going to get into what does selling outcomes actually mean. What is the word selling outcome? Because that is what you guys need to do. What does this actually mean? So the outcome is the before and after of what your company looks like. Before they started working with you and after they started working with you. After they embedded your product into their workflow. And here's the difference. So we have a product right here. We have an AI that analyzes your sales calls, okay? What is the dream outcome that these people want? Or that this company probably does, okay? What is that outcome? And how do you flip that positioning to a point where you can get this product to actually sell the outcome? And this is exactly how you do it. The outcome is simple. It's your worst rep starts closing like your best rep because they finally know exactly what to say and when to shut up. That is the dream outcome. That is what they want. So when you say an AI that analyzes your sales call, they're putting you in a bucket of 500 different things. And this is when you get people to start price shopping and price gauging you. If you do end up getting them in a sales call, they're gonna freaking put you in a long ass 6 months sales cycle. That's going to lead nowhere, or they're just gonna ghost you because you're not solving anything that's urgent enough to take action on. Okay. Next we have this one. We're automated financial reporting tool. So what is the dream outcome for this one? The dream outcome is probably extremely simple. What does this company do? What is the dream outcome? Your CFO stops spending every single Sunday pulling numbers and I can actually start walking into your Monday meetings feeling confident, knowing what's actually going on. That is the outcome. That is what people pay $100,000 a year for. They're not going to pay $100,000 a year for an automated financial reporting tool. It just doesn't happen. It does not happen, and the list goes on. It's exactly the same company. Exactly the same company, but just positioned differently. It's positioned in a way that makes you a expert. It makes your company an expert in the field that solves a real problem going on in their life versus a commodity. Okay, for example, an LLM powered doc summarization. What the fuck does that even mean? You have to talk about your outcome. And what is that? Your team stops making decisions based on reports nobody actually read. That is the outcome. You have to flip the script a little bit. Now we're gonna discuss why every single founder gets this wrong. Okay, let's just use a YC company, right? For example, let's say YC walks into demo day and they say a version of this. Okay, they say a version of, we are a AI native infrastructure layer for intelligent document processing across enterprise workflows. Okay, mind the spelling. Okay, this is what somebody's walking in on demo day or showing up into your inbox looking like. The biggest reason, the biggest issue here is that they generally believe this is strong positioning. And you want to know why? It's because they built the fucking thing. They built it. That is why they think this is strong, because they're too deep into the product to understand what is actually going on in their buyer's mind. This doesn't mean anything to nobody. It doesn't mean anything. Nobody is going to buy this, especially if it's cold outreach. Nobody buys that. When it happens to cold traffic, nobody's going to buy your AI native infrastructure layer for intelligent document processing across enterprise workflows. No one's going to buy this. Okay? And to give you the best analogy or the best example I can use right now is, imagine if one of the founders of Porsche during the time, they built the cars Porsche. Imagine if they came out with an ad right now and started talking about every last spec that went into their cars. Every single last spec. And mind you, if you look up the data right now on ChatGPT or Claude, whatever you use, their buyers aren't car heads. They're not guys that are in love with cars, right? They don't care about the details and the specs. You have your odd percentage of people that are actually going to take a GT3 RS, a 911 Turbo S, a GT4 RS on a track day, right? They're going to actually race those cars on a track. They're actually guys that actually love cars. Those aren't their buyers. They do not care what is underneath that hood. They do not care about the V6 turbo engine, naturally aspirated engine. They don't care about the inline six, the V6, whatever it is. They don't care about those things. This is what this looks like. That is equivalent to a Porsche ad having an engineer start ripping out every single spec of how cool and nice their car is, all the handling, all the technology, but underneath the hood. That is what you are doing. Your buyer doesn't care about your machine. They care about their problem that they have. That is the biggest issue I see every single founder, especially in Y Combinator. They get this wrong. Okay, now we're going to talk about two traps that I see every single YC founder have when it comes to their cold outreach and why their cold outreach just simply doesn't work. Okay, now we're going to discuss the two things that go on with companies that come out of Y Combinator before they went to demo day. This is the two lies that they have and the two traps, I'm going to say, that actually goes on in their head that is stopping them from their cold outreach and actually having strangers buy from them. Number one is that the product is so obviously useful, it's going to sell itself. And the last one is just, it's going to save you a lot of time. That's a complete bullshit lie, and I'm going to explain everything to you right now. First things first is the product is obviously so useful, it's going to sell itself. You have to understand, the reason why people say this is because they've been in the product for so long. They've been inside the problem for so long They forgot what their customers are actually thinking. That's why you get complicated, extremely complicated positioning. As we get all this copy that doesn't actually sell to anybody. If you take Rippling, for example, Rippling could have said that we are an HR and IT management software. You know what they did instead? Instead, they said every single time that you hire somebody, you're going to waste an entire day setting up their laptop, their accounts, their payroll, their benefits, all manually across 6 different systems. We made this possible with one click. It is exactly the same company. But there's one thing you have to notice. There's not one time they say AI. There's not one time they said SaaS. There's not one time they said any of that kind of stuff. They didn't even say HR, IT, even though that's what they do. They didn't say that. All they did was talk about the problem and the dream outcome that they wanted, that their customers wanted. That is it. That's all. That's all you do. You have to stop talking about the service of what you like, the SaaS, HR, IT, AI. There's a time and place to talk about those things. Don't get me wrong, right? It could be on a call if you're talking to somebody technical, right? It could be to an investor if you're talking to an investor. But if you are trying to make money, stop talking about these things. And next is the save timeline. And this is the biggest one. When I tell people and try to teach them how to fix their positioning so that their cold outreach actually works, this is what usually happens, is they think that instantly leads them to like, hey, what do we do? What do we do? Okay, we're going to save you 10 hours a week. First things first, you're not going to save them 10 hours a week. Let's just stop lying right now. Okay? Second is they heard that positioning. They heard that same line 5,000 different times. Every single person used it. It's dry. You have to get a little more creative and start thinking outside the box here. Okay? Saving 10 hours is still a vitamin, right? It's not necessarily a pain. You can use this only if you tie it to an exact dollar amount. So you can show them that you're actually bleeding X amount of dollars instead of you're bleeding time. Okay? So how do you do this? Let's just say you have 10 hours a week, okay? 10 hours you're burning this every single week. And then let's just say you times that by 50 hours. And that's going to equal to $500 a week. That's how much they're bleeding out. Let's say per employee or whatever it is. 500 times 52 weeks in a year. That's equal to 26K. $26,000 on this one task. And that, by the way, this right here is just on one employee. Imagine if they had a shit ton of employees. That number can go up all the way to millions and millions of dollars. That is the number one way that you can frame to somebody on a sales call or even in your copy, right? Where you're not losing time, you're losing $26,000 a year per employee on this task that should never exist. If you really did want to use the same time positioning, there's better ways to do it, but that is one way that you can. It's called selling the bleed and attaching a dollar amount to it. All right, next is we're going to talk about the real reason why your 100 outreach emails are going to get 0 demo bookings. And this is one of the biggest reasons. This is what your email looks like. Hey, John, I came across your company and I thought our platform might be a great fit. We help teams like yours automate workflows and improve efficiency using AI. We've worked with companies in your space and we've seen strong results. We would love to show you a quick demo. Do you have 15 minutes this week? All right. I'm going to let you know. I want you to sit down with yourself and I want you to ask you, this is what I'm going to say like 90% of people sound like. 90% maybe. And I want you to stop lying to yourself and actually question like, what would you get on a demo with this guy? Are you going to go out of your way to let your precious ass time to go sit on a demo to go discuss AI efficiency to improve your automated workflows? Like, you let me know. Because if you would, cheers to you. I honestly never met a single person. Don't get me wrong. You do enough volume, you're gonna get people that are biting on this, right? You talk to the right person at the right time, but like this is just what I see, right? Teams like yours, you don't know my team. Automated workflows. Which workflows? Everybody says automated workflows. Improve efficiency. With what measure? What are you improving? Towards what? Where? Strong results for who? Who's getting these strong results? Why should I believe you? Give me case studies of what's going on here. Quick demo. What do you demo? Why are you demoing me? Why do I need a demo? I don't know what the hell this is going on. There's no specific pain. There's no named problem. There's no outcome. And there's zero reason to reply to this. Why am I going to jump on a demo with you? Why? Okay? The number one rule, before we go on to the next step to actually start talking about the right channels and the right outreach messages, how to actually make your outreach convert. is stop answering, what does your product do? Okay? And you have to start answering, what is the single most expensive, embarrassing problem our specific user has right now? And what does their company look like the week after we fix it? That is your positioning. That is your headline. That is your first sentence when you speak to somebody, when they ask you, what do you do? This is what you say. Stop saying, what does our product do? And the solution, or what do you do? Nobody cares about what you do. This is what they care about. This right here. Take a screenshot of this right now and slap it on your fucking LinkedIn headline, slap it on your landing page, put it everywhere. This is what you do. Please, everybody that's watching this is what you do now. Next, we're going to go into the outreach system. Messaging framework is very, very simple. It's your hook, your pain, the proof, and the one simple, put that in all caps for everybody in the back to see it, simple ask. Simple, okay? This is your framework. The hook is going to be 5 to 10 words. Something very, very simple, something that you actually research, prove that you're not just copy and pasting something from 1,000 different people. Next is your pain. The name that they're actually, the pain that they're actually going on through life. Name the bleeding neck problem, right? Name it. Shout it from the top of your lungs. Show them that you understand what they're going through. Not about your product, not your AI workflow integration solution. Show that you understand their pain. Next is your proof, is a one line about who we helped. Maybe it's case study, who we worked with in the past, or whatever it is. And then your one ask. Your one ask, we're going to get to the one ask later on. This is not a 15-minute call, by the way. Okay? This is not a demo. Not a 15-minute call. They don't trust you yet. They don't know you yet. They're not going to call you. They're not going to jump on a call with you. I'm sorry. It's never going to happen unless you do enough volume. Sure, but here's a quick message that's actually going to work. Okay, so here is I'm going to show you quickly an example of a message that actually looks good when you have proper positioning and you're actually calling out a real pain point, a bleeding neck problem that goes on to other companies. So I color coded it for you so you can actually understand the hook, the pain, the proof, and the call to action. So, hey Tim, I just saw your company on Instagram. I noticed your checkout flow. So this is super, super simple, right? You just want to call out something quickly, just hook them into the conversation just to show that you did your research, you noticed something about them that is different than any other message. What I've noticed is the time it takes for you to be extremely personalized is not worth it than you just having a quick 5 to 10 words, even 5 words of something that's going on in their life right now, in their company, right? Maybe they just raised, maybe they're hiring, whatever it is, just call out something that you found quickly. Maybe you like the color of their logo. It doesn't matter. Just don't go too much in depth about the personalization. But you're going to hit them up, and then you're going to ask them, hey, not sure if this is relevant, but if you were dealing with, and then you're going to talk about the pain point. This is basically just getting them to read the deep pain that they're going through. If this is actually relevant to them, they're going to keep reading. If they are going through this problem, they're going to keep reading. And remember, not everybody is going through this pain point. Not every single person you're going through is in the customer journey where they have felt this pain yet. That's why you have to follow up still. So they could read this and be like, hey, I haven't reached this point in my career yet, or it's this quarter, I just might not have felt this pain deep enough to respond to this message, or to even give you a reason to click on whatever you are asking me to click on. That is the reason, right? That's all that is. But if they're relevant, if they felt this pain before, which a lot of people have, if you've done your research, this is going to work. Next, you're just going to add in the proof part, what we have done, and you just say, we helped a similar company solve the dream outcome. It gets so simple. Like to solve the dream outcome that you guys want. It's literally just saying, hey, are you tired of going through this? And do you want this? That is it. You just have to know what your market wants. My market wants this, and I'm going to tell him, hey, we just helped them go from here to this. Let me know if that's something that you're dealing with, and I'll send you a video of exactly how we did it. This is when they reply with, hey, send me a video. That'll be awesome. They just agreed to you that they're going through this, that they're going through this pain. And then you just send them your lead magnet, right? We'll get into the lead magnets later in another video, but this is all that is. Like, in the lead magnet is basically just like a how-to video of what you guys actually did. Like, what you guys do. Literally how-to step by step. Just give away everything that you have. Every last piece of knowledge that you have, give it away. So next we're gonna talk about the lead magnet as well, just to give you a little more depth about that. So lead magnet is everything. This is literally gonna make or break if somebody buys from you or not. So you need to have a YouTube or LinkedIn video that gives away the farm. Like you're giving away everything. This is gonna be a step-by-step video of how to exactly achieve what your market wants. I like literally just write down what does my market want, their customer want, the dream outcome, and then you're gonna make a video about it. That is it. You're going to make a video about it. You're going to make a video about it, and the video title is going to be so simple: how to achieve dream outcome. That is it. Okay? This is going to make or break everything. What this is going to do, a lot of people have this belief in their head that if they give away all the secret sauce that they know, that they're going to not buy from you anymore. And I'm trying to tell you that is the complete false, right? You have to understand, people don't want to do the thing. They don't want to do it, right? They want, and if they do want to do it, they still want somebody to hold their hand to show them the way across. That is what you have to really get your mind set across. The more you kind of do this kind of stuff and give away everything for free, give away your knowledge, you are going to get so much more leads. And yes, this works for SaaS. This works for everything. Look at Instantly. Instantly does this perfectly. They literally give away everything that these guys are looking for. And what is the solution? It just happened to be their AI product. It just happened to be the software. That's just a solution. It just happened to be, oh, you guys want this? Well, this is how you get that step by step. And to make that even easier for you, look at this. We actually built a product for that. Use this, use a free trial, whatever your offer is. But this is how you get it to work. And like I said before, what happens when actually somebody actually spends their time watching 30 minutes and 60 minutes of you, they're going to click on your profile and then they're going to go watch all your other videos as well. After they watch 5 other videos, they're already sold. They will go to book a call with you without even you asking, and they're going to show up pre-sold because you're already an authority. You're seen as an authority, right? The moment they say, yeah, send it over, you already won. Like you obviously, yes, you follow up if they don't reply to you, if they don't book a call, but obviously that's the bare minimum. But I'm trying to tell you, the moment they watch your first video, that first lead magnet that you send over, they're going to click on your profile and they're going to start watching other ones. That's how people buy. Like just think about when the last time you bought something that was of higher ticket. This is what they do. You have to give away everything just so they see that you know their world better than theirs. Don't be afraid to give away your knowledge. Just help them. So the follow-up sequence is going to be it's going to be a 3 message sequence. So day 3 to day 5 to day 9. And mind you, keep track of all this data in your CRM. Or if you're too lazy, spreadsheet, whatever, you don't have to get pretty with it. It's not that deep if you're the only one looking at it. Day 2, after you send the first message, this is what you're going to send to them. Oopsies. Sorry, I'm pretty slow at this. You're going to send, hey, I know you're probably super busy. I just want to send this over. Regardless, here's a video of how we got Dream Outcome for similar company. Drop the link. That is it. If they don't reply, you're going to make them feel dumb for saying no. This is obviously one of the best tactics. This is like usually where you get most of your replies from. You're going to basically frame it as in a way like, hey, I'm not sure if you're looking to have a 6-pack, but if you are, I can get one for you. Or I'm not sure if you're looking to have a supermodel girlfriend, but I have one right here waiting for you if you want it. Like if you don't want it, that's completely fine. That's your tonality. Like you have to like make them feel stupid for saying, no, I don't want the dream outcome. So that's what day 5 messages, the message is going to be. So it's going to be, not sure if you're actively looking to get your dream outcome right now, but if you are, just let me know. I sent you a video up there. Hope you're doing well. And then the last one is giving them permission to tell you to fuck off. Okay, that is it. This is the last one, is just closing the loop. This is if they didn't respond, if they're viewing your message, whatever it is, you're giving them a reason to basically say, hey, stop messaging me. And this puts you in a position where if they don't respond, you're going to keep messaging them until they literally tell you to fuck off. I swear to God, I have closed deals for countless companies from constant messaging through a 7-month period. There were times where I literally asked people, like, how long have you known me? How long have you followed me? Literally, it's been like 5 months where I started the first message. And I just kept, just because I kept following up. I kept, hey, this is what we're building now. This is what we're doing now. Hey, just a quick update. Hope you're doing well. Look at this. Look at the result that we just got with another client. Keep following up because, like I said, this is the journey map of a customer. This is the journey map. Right here is when they feel the pain the worst. Okay? And it all comes down flowing here. They just might not have been at the situation in their current life where they need your solution, but they're going to get there. They're going to get there. It's like trying to sell home services to a 17-year-old kid. Yeah, he could need them, but he doesn't need them now. He doesn't even have a home. But he's still a potential lead. Obviously, that's an extreme example, but let's just say somebody that's 25 years old, right? He probably has like savings. He might have got that lead from somewhere. And you try to sell him that service and he says, hey man, not now, or he just probably ghosts you. You keep following up because eventually he's going to get to this point of he's like, oh shit, I have a house now. I'm going to need this guy's service. Right? So they might be up here. They might be here now. Then they're going to get here, right? They might start watching your content. They might even just start seeing your stuff when they're over here in the middle. But you have to understand, you have to keep following up because not everybody that you reach out to is going to be at the desired pain that they're currently feeling. They're at different stages of their life. They're at different stages. You have to understand that. They're going to get there. Okay. Do it properly. When 3 months go by, you're going to notice, like the first month, you might start getting a little bit of results. Second month, you're going to start getting a little bit of results. And then month 3, you're going to be randomly get bombarded. Like, holy shit, this compounded so fast because you messaged so many people. You spent 3 hours a day. You spent 3 hours a day. I remember we talked about it. We spent 3 hours a day. Every single day, that compounds over time. You know how many people you talk to, letting them know about what you guys do? It's insane the amount of data you get back and the amount of fucking money and deals you actually start closing. Because what happens? You're not going to go into your sales calls anymore, scared shitless that you have to close a deal because you need traction for your next raise or something. Because people smell commission breath from a mile away. They know if you're like just going there to sell them something versus they know it's like, hey, I don't need you. Like, it's hard to explain the energy that somebody gives off in a sales call of like, hey, listen, I'm happy to help, but I don't need you. That feeling is insane. Like the people can say they want you more. I don't know how to explain it, but they want you more. When you just give off this energy and people can smell it from a mile away, if you just literally look at them in the eyes and you give off this energy, just saying, listen, if you can, like, I can end this call right now. I have 3 more after this. I do not care. Like, I really don't. I know that my pipeline's getting filled whether you buy or not. I have the solution. I'm not losing any sleep if you don't want to buy. Like, if you really, because like the way you speak and everything is literally like saying, hey, like if you don't want to succeed, I don't care, man. Like, this is your life, right? This is your company. People are going to want it more. You're gonna join these calls more wanting of just being a doctor mindset of you just diagnosing what they have and just offering up a solution. If they buy, you don't care because you have so many calls left. Next, we're going to talk about the broken conversion system. And there's still one last point to make your results even better. And this is the kind of the core insight. And I kind of touched on this before, is you kind of have to start thinking back to yourself and kind of reverse engineer back to your whole life. And this is what I did to kind of understand all this. When was the last time you actually bought something over $1,000? Like, just think about it and just like walk through what happened. Because what happened with me is I would have somebody send me a message, right? Whether it's an ad or a message, right? And if I resonated with that message at all, right? Maybe the pain point, whatever it was, I'd click on their profile. I'll click on their profile and then I would start scrolling on their content, right? I would either scroll on their Instagram content, their video content, whatever it was. And I would scroll for like an hour, right? I'd watch an hour of their videos. By the way, this is if their pain point resonated with me. If I was actually going through something that they mentioned and they talked about the pain point deeply enough and I clicked on it, or they sent me something for free, a free lead magnet, free video, they told me, hey, watch this video, I would literally go on their page and I would just start doom scrolling their content. Whether that's on Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube, it didn't really matter. But I would just give away so much of my attention to this person. I didn't even know the guy. I didn't even know. He didn't ask me to book a call. He didn't ask me to do anything. All he did was send me a message that I resonated with the pain point. And what happens from there? There was times when I would do this for people and they wouldn't have anything in their description. They wouldn't have any call to actions, nothing. And I would honestly be like, yo, I just want to see this guy's landing page. Like, I just want to book a call with him. But there was no call to action to do that. Because I already paid so much attention to this guy. I already looked at what he did. He kind of basically just gave me a bunch of tips, told me to fix this, fix that. And I'm like, yo, it was just so crazy. And long story short, this happened to 2 other SaaS companies that I actually worked with. That they basically put me into their funnel. And I was so shocked about it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And this is kind of how I reverted everything back to this like situation here, which that's why the video lead magnet is so important. Okay. And what happens after that? I would just book the call, and I would book the call and I'd already be sold. Like, I literally would be like, dude, you don't even have to sell me. Like, I already know what you do. Just like send me the invoice. This is the easiest thing in real life. And that being said, I don't even care if it was a coaching service. I don't care if it was a regular service. I don't care if it was they built an AI product, right? I don't care if it was a soft, whatever it was. I did not care. And you have to understand, people do not care about what your service does. That's why I was like screaming at the top of my lungs earlier about stop saying AI this, SaaS that, workspace, workflow this, like all these jargon words that nobody cares about other than the technical people, not your buyers. Because nobody cares about what the service actually does. Nobody cares what the service is. They care that their problem gets solved. That is it. And just go back to what you saw here. I would watch a video, right? I saw a message. I'm going to write this out one by one. I saw a message. This is how people buy. I saw a message. It hit, pain point hit. I went on their profile. I started watching their content. They gave me free value. I literally thought I want this person to do this for me. This person knows this stuff. Knows his stuff. And then I would watch more videos. By video 5, I was sold. I was sold without a sales call. Then I booked a call to figure out next steps. Every single time. Every single time. There has not been a single time in my life where I have not done this yet. Where I have not bought something that didn't follow this exact funnel. And this goes for social media content across LinkedIn, Twitter, everything. Every last piece of content, this is exactly what happened. Right? And this is just the trust ladder as well. It's just the trust ladder. Okay, so this is like what actually goes on in somebody's head when somebody converts. Like, nobody wants to buy from strangers anymore, especially at the higher ticket. Nobody does. They do not want to buy from strangers. Social media is the whole point of social media, where you are social with somebody. You're watching a video and they're spending their time literally watching you. You're not a stranger anymore if you spent 2 hours listening to this guy speak. They buy from someone they've spent time with. The content is that time. Every single video they watch is a deposit into your trust account. You have to put that into your head. Every reel, everything they read from your LinkedIn, whatever it is, they're literally putting money into the deposit trust account into you. Okay? By the time they book a call, the account is full. That is it. Okay? People started showing, and the best thing about all this, and I truly do hope you guys change your mind on how you approach your advertising. The thing I want to discuss is a VSL. This is optional, but I truly think it can save a lot of lives. The VSL, it's a video sales letter. This is the video that goes on your landing page. This could be animated. This could be a founder's video. Whatever works for you. Could be a Loom video. Doesn't matter. The whole goal of this video is to pre-handle objections, to showcase your case studies and what you actually done with proof back behind it, and to give away your step-by-step process and to filter out the wrong people. That's it. That is all. And this is just gonna your goal is to handle every single main objection you have. Like, go rewatch every single sales call that you had before and just write down what are the most objections that you got. Write them down. Like, just tally every single one down and start ticking, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, you're going to notice that you get the 5 same objections, 3 to 5 same objections. You're going to handle them inside the video sales letter. You're going to showcase your case studies, and you're going to give away the farm, and then you're going to filter out the wrong people. When people get on your calls, they're already sold. They can't even, they can have no more objections for you. You filtered out every bad lead that was going to waste your time, and you just gave everybody a reason to call, and you removed every objection that they had. Video sales letters are honestly such a big deal. I highly, highly recommend them. I think that's about it. So to kind of give you a quick rundown of what we discussed, we talked about your positioning. Oh, that's wrong. We talked about your positioning and why your leads aren't converting to customers. We talked about your outreach system, the exact step-by-step process you need to do to take your new positioning and turn that into an outreach system. Next, the broken conversions on why conversions actually break down and they fail. But yeah, this is the exact system, the positioning, the outreach funnel, the 3 steps that I've used and I've continued to use till this day for every single software company that I worked with, and also for myself. And the one that I actually used to close or to get 30 customers in the last, I think it was last 80 days, which resulted into $100,000 plus in recurring revenue. And every single one of them all started exactly where you probably are right now. You guys raised money, you had a great product, but you had no idea how to get customers. Now, if you want me to build this whole system out for your company, there's a link in the description. I'm going to kind of give you a whole run through exactly what I would do for you. We can jump on a call and we can kind of go about that, and we'll discuss a little bit more about that. You can message me on LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever you feel is right on your end. And if you want to just use this system for yourself, go do it. Either way, now you know exactly what to fix. If you have any questions, email me or toss them in the comments, and I will make videos based off of your questions, and I'll post them within days. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good one.